so of course I knew Lucille, and whenever I lived over in Brooklyn for a while, and Sonny would come, Lucille would come, and at the end of the night, I remember one night it was brutal in New York. It was so cold, and at the end of the night, Sonny was saying, "Well, where are you going, man?" I said, "Well, I'm going back to where I live." He said, "Where? You going to Brooklyn?" He said, No. Get in the car. I'll take you." They took me home. They drove me all the way to Brooklyn. Took me home. Yeah, they were like my parents in a certain way. They really were. Yeah. And then things started to really improve a lot for me, because I started to really work more, started to get more gigs, and started to play with a lot of different people, started to play in situations that were really good for me, and I got a really great gig finally. I got one of the first really important gigs was working with Roy Haynes, and the pianist was McCoy Tyner. He had left Coltrane by then, and a guy named Scotty Hope, who was a bass player. Scotty was from Chicago, so Roy actually gave me one of my first really important gigs, and of all places, it was in the 5-spot.
Wow.
And the gig was supposed to be a quintet with Charles Tolliver, because Charles and I had become like a front line. So when the composers wanted to have a quintet, we had this reputation. We'd come sight read your music and play it right. So we had great opportunities to play with McCoy and, with his band. But he was supposed to play this gig with Roy Haynes. But he couldn't do it because he was out here on the West Coast doing a big band recording with the great Gerald Wilson. So it ended up being a quartet, which scared me half to death, But after the first set, Roy Haynes took me back into the kitchen, and he looked at me and he gave me this look, and he said, "What's wrong with you?" And I could tell that he was not so happy with the fact that I wasn't really playing. He said, "I know you can play more." He said, "Go ahead, be yourself." So I said, "Okay," and that was it. That was the end of it. And I came back and I played, and then during the break, McCoy asked me if I had any tunes. He said, "Well, bring some of your tunes. We'll play some of your tunes." So I brought the tunes. McCoy played my tunes to show me how they could be, and we played some of my music. But I played an entire week in the 5-spot with Roy Haynes and the quartet. That changed everything for me, because it was my gig.
Yeah.
And so by then I had an opportunity to play with Kenny Dorham. I got a call from McCoy to record on Tender Moments, and then we got another call from Horace Silver for an audition, and I went and I did the audition, but I didn't get the gig. A guy named Tyrone Washington got it. He was good friends with Woody Shaw, because Woody was playing and Joe Henderson had left, and they were looking for another tenor player. So I didn't get it. But it was okay, because I worked with McCoy. I got to play with Kenny Dorham. Cedar Walton wrote a bunch of great music. I would play with him and Billy Higgins and whoever was playing bass. And I would play their music. And then I had my regular routine of practicing 4 or 5 hours a day and making an effort to try to, write some tunes and hang out with Charles and play his tunes. And, about a year went past, and Horace called me again. By then, it's 1968. And this time I went to audition, and he hired me. And we recorded a thing called "You Gotta Take a Little Love." That was the name of the CD, the recording. I was on half of it, and Stanley Turrentine was on the other half. But then I worked with Horace for a year and a half. But during that time, I also got to record with Lee Morgan, Lon Bluno, with Andrew Hill,